Good morning, everyone. This morning I want to talk to you guys about time. Time is the one thing that we cannot afford to waste. Time is actually the currency that we live in. We have limited time, 70 to 80 years if we have a full lifespan. So whatever we do with our time, we can actually relate to currency. The currency of earth is time. Time, you can exchange time for anything. You can exchange time for money. You can exchange time for relationships. You can exchange time for whatever you want in life. But there's some conditions that need to work for you in order to maximize your time. Number one, the biggest mistake that people make is they do not respect time. Time is so valuable. The older you get, the more you understand of the value of time. So you cannot afford to just lie around. You cannot afford to give your time to wrong people. You cannot afford to be busy with wrong things. Time is the seed that you have in your hand that can produce what money cannot buy. So if you don't have any money, you have time. And you can use that time to either help people, to sow time into. If you don't have money to give into something, you can sow your time into something, and both will produce a harvest. So if you cannot recognize the seed that is in time, how will you recognize a harvest when it's time for harvesting? So it's very important that we understand the concept of time, that we can look back over our week and see, where did we waste time? Where should we have spent more time? On what did you give too little time? So it's time management is extremely important for our total well-being, but also for being prosperous financially. Often people that struggles with poverty is because they cannot say no to people. And so people waste their time. They are not focused to finish certain things at a specific time because they have the mindset of tomorrow is yet another day. That is wasting time. That is not pursuing time. That is not pursuing to finish things within a time limit. Unless often people wants other people to tell them what the timeline is. You need to drive yourself. You need to set limits for yourself and goals for yourself. You need to decide, I want to complete this within X amount of time, and you drive yourself. You don't need people to drive you, because your goal is to do with your time as much as you can possibly do it, because that is the biggest gift that God gave us, is time. And we have total rule of our own time. We can decide what we want to do with our own time. So if we take time as a form of seed, and we don't like what's going on in our life, we don't like what we see around us, then change your seeds, change your time, change the things that you spend your time on. And remember, whatever you spend your time on, whatever you sow your seed into, is going to produce a harvest. So if you have to look at a harvest to determine whether you want to sow that into. If you don't like apples, why do you plant apple trees? You plant apple trees because you like apples and you want apples. So whatever you want, you have to work back towards the seeds in your hand, towards the time that you spend sowing that. Remember, seed equals time for this specific teaching this morning. So how do you know when the harvest is coming? So a harvest is something that is a daily process. We're actually daily walking into a harvest of time. So there's little harvests around us every single day that we often neglect to recognize. It's daily processes in your life. It's the little bit of help that God sends your way for that specific day. That little help is maybe 2-3 months ago that you have sown time to help another person. A blessing, connection, a strengthening, whether it be by physical or mental, or people just motivating you. Everything is about what you have sown 3 or more months ago. So if you get that blessing, you have blessed somebody along the way. If you get somebody's help, then you've helped people along the way. If you are strengthening and motivating people around you, then you have done that along the way. Any ideas that people throw your way that just sparks, it's just that light bulb that goes on, it's because you were willing to do it for other people. Any opportunity that is suddenly a door of opportunity that opens in front of you, is you can actually draw back to a time where you were willing to open a door of opportunity for somebody else to get some or other financial increase or connection, or to gain something where you didn't gain anything. It was for that person. You wanted to help that person and give that person access to someone or somebody or an opportunity, and therefore your harvest would be an opportunity that will come up for you, a door that will open up for you. I think it's so important that we don't get so religious, and that we want God to do everything for us, because He gives us clear guidelines. We need to obey Him, we need to love Him, and we know when we need to obey Him, He's got a lot of instructions. The whole Bible is full of instructions which we need to follow, and one of them is sowing equals reaping. Whatever you sow, you will reap. It's not only about forgiveness. It's not only about I should love everybody around me to such an extent that they can abuse me. That is not true. That is not scriptural. The scripture says you should help people and create opportunities for them and open doors for them, but you don't go through the door with them. You don't expect God doesn't expect us to carry people all the way until their own destination. They have to, if you want a person that is hungry, if you want to give him a fish, yes, then he's going to come for a second fish, unless you teach them to fish themselves. In the same way, when you give your time to teach a person how to fish, you create an opportunity for that person to feed themselves. You teach them something that will create something for them. And one day, when you are standing in front of a closed door, that door will open before you, because you have so much. You have applied your time for good things. You respected time. You valued the time that you have. So I pray that we all really value today's lesson, and that we will look at our timeline and what we do each and every week. At the end of the week, look back, make a little list of the time wasters in your life, where you were just walking around idle, not really focused, not really knowing what happened with your time. You need to take control over your time. You need to see time as a seed that will produce something good for you. And that is my prayer for all of you. Shalom.